Hello, boys and girls. I hope that you are all doing well. Welcome back to school on a Monday. Today and this week, we are going to be focusing on the main topic and key details of a story. So the main topic tells us what a text is mostly about, and key details give us more information about the topic. Now, we are going to read this story about the ways that one amazing tree develops as the years pass. How do you think that this tree might change as it grows? What do you think might happen to a tree as it changes and grows? I know that all trees begin from tiny little seeds and they can grow so big. So today we're going to listen to A Grand Old Tree, and this story is written by Mary Noel DePalma. And again, it seems kind of strange we're reading about things that are more of spring and summer, but we do see trees and we see them all see every season and see how they change throughout the seasons. And there is a picture in this story that shows different seasons of this tree's life. So we're going to take a look at that page too. So let me turn off these icons here. It's not going to let me unless I move myself. There we go, that's better. So A Grand Old Tree. I hope you like this story. I think it's a great story. Once there was a grand old tree. Her roots sank deep into the earth. Her arms reached high into the sky. She was home to many creatures. Birds nested among her branches. Squirrels scurried through her leaves. Caterpillars and ladybugs crawled about. So look at these two pages. What is the main topic that these pages are telling about? These pages tell us that the tree was home to many creatures. And the key details are telling us about the main idea. So the key details of these pages is that the birds nested in her branches, and squirrels scurried throughout the tree's leaves, and caterpillars and ladybugs crawled through the branches and the leaves. The grand old tree flowered. It bore fruit and sowed seeds. She had many children. Who are the tree's children? Do you see them? Do you see these little tiny trees that are starting here? Those are the tree's children. They changed the landscape for miles around, perhaps even farther than the old tree knew. Look at that. This bird picked up the seed by the old tree and it carried them all the way to the ocean. So far away. The grand old tree lived a long time. She basked in the sun, bathed in the rain, swayed in the breeze, and danced in the wind. What different kinds of weather does the tree live in? This is the page I was talking about. So the tree lives, sometimes it rains, sometimes it snows. You can see here that the tree here was probably during the winter months where it loses all its leaves. She grew and shed many millions of leaves. At last, the grand old tree was very old. Her branches no longer swayed and danced, but they cracked and snapped in the wind. Finally, she fell, and snow gently covered her. Close your eyes and imagine what the old tree sounded like, or what it was like when the old tree fell. I can close my eyes and I can envision the tree falling over. I can hear the sound of cracking branches and the cracking of the trunk. It's kind of sad. The old tree died. She no longer flowered, bore fruit, or sowed seeds. So what is the main topic of these 2 pages here? The main topic tells us now that the old tree died. Here she is, part of her tree. I see her children and grandchildren here in the background, though. That's really cool. What details tell us about the topic of the old tree dying? It tells us that she didn't grow flowers any longer, she didn't grow fruit any longer, and she no longer made any seeds. But she was still home to many creatures. So although the old tree is now gone, she still is able to be home to many creatures. So that's a really cool thing. Raccoons nested in her trunk, centipedes crawled along her branches, and lichen grew on her bark. The grand old tree slowly crumbled. She became part of the earth. Today, the roots of her grandchildren sink deep into this earth. Their arms reach high into the sky. I want you to think about this word here, this word sink. The word sink sometimes means that it's a place we go to wash our hands. But what does the word sink mean in this sentence? I'm going to reread this sentence and think about that again. Today, the roots of her grandchildren sink deep into this earth. So the word sink here means that they go down. Her roots are going down into the ground. They're sinking into the ground. They are home to many creatures. So the grand old tree's children and grandchildren are now becoming home to many different creatures. Just like the grand old tree. I hope you enjoyed that story. I do like that one. So what was the main topic of this story that we just read, the grand old tree? It was all about the grand old tree's life. And the key details or important parts of the story and story that gave us more information was that the tree grows roots and it grew flowers and it grew leaves and the leaves fall off and then eventually the tree dies. Let's take a look at this little story here it's about an apple tree and how it grows. How do trees grow? A tree starts from a seed. Let's see how the tree grows from a little seed. A seed develops under the ground. So here a seed starts. I see these roots here starting to sink down into the earth. It needs water and sunlight to sprout. Then it grows into a seedling. So here a seedling. The seedling grows into a young tree called a sapling. The sapling grows into a big tree. Flowers cover the branches. What do you think grows after the flowers fall off? Tiny apples. The tiny apples grow from the flowers. They grow into apples we can eat. There are many seeds in an apple. The seeds in an apple can become a huge tree someday. Isn't that amazing? So maybe someday when you eat an apple, you can save some of the seeds. You can find somewhere in your yard to plant them, and maybe eventually, many years from now, you will be growing apples and eating apples from your very own apple tree. Thank you so much for joining me for our story today. Have a great day.